today, to start my video, I have something to show you. I've got my channel's name on the back of this hoodie. Right, so today I am going to talk about how I am learning 5 foreign languages at the same time. These 5 languages are English, French, Spanish, Japanese, and Korean. Let's get started. Number 1 is to track myself. I bought this notebook just for my new language learning because it's my 2022 New Year resolutions. But then after about 20 days, I realized that this is not exactly how I wanted. So I changed onto iPad. I take photos of my learning process every day and I post it on my socials like this. Surprisingly, I got quite a lot of support from a lot of you, which is really nice. Thank you very much. So, which is part of the advantages of tracking yourself publicly. And another way of tracking myself is that the app that I use, Duolingo, it tracks you every day. And if you fail to use this app one day, you will lose your long-term streak. For example, now I am on this 112-day streak, I think, and it hurts to lose it. And also, during the day, you get notifications or push-ups saying, oh, if you don't study now, you're going to lose your streak, that kind of thing. And also, it gives you quizzes or exams or a ranking board to motivate you to study on a daily basis. The second part, I don't know, this might not work for everyone. Bear this in mind and just take my word with a pinch of salt because this might not work for you. The second method is that I made myself pay. For example, for Spanish, I started it seriously because I forgot to cancel the 7-day free trial by Duolingo, which costs £70. And then I was thinking, okay, I don't want to waste this money. I really need to zero in on it. So then I went to Cervantes Institute, I signed up for their beginners class. But after I signed up for the class, they asked me to buy the books, these 2 books. And each of them costs £37. This one's £22, yeah. And then the class itself with student discount is still like over £300. So altogether it's like £400 already. Okay, it's almost £500, including the weekly transport to the institute. So yeah, I feel like I am wasting my money if I don't learn Spanish well, or if I don't work hard to learn Spanish to a level that I'm satisfied with. This method might not work for a lot of you because I know that some people might spend quite a lot of money on a course or to hire a tutor, but then they still don't work hard enough to make their money spent worthwhile. So if that's you, don't waste your money. The third method is keep thinking about why I want to learn this language. For example, for Spanish, I want to travel to Spanish-speaking countries. Like I want to travel to Spain or Latin American countries, and also a lot of songs that I like tend to have a bit of Spanish clip into it. For example, Despacito. There are quite a lot of covers of popular songs that are in Spanish, French. For example, I found this really nice cover version of Justin Bieber's Peaches. It's in English, French, Spanish. It's just perfecto pour moi. Yeah, so that's part of the reason why. And also, I love Gloria from Modern Family. I don't know whether you watched that video. I mean, not a video. I don't know whether you watched that TV series. It's just epic. It's so good. And I love the way that Gloria speaks Spanish.
It's supposed to sound better in Spanish.
Voy a ser la brisa en tu espalda, no quien te escupa en la frente.
Oh, it's beautiful. Really nice. Thank you.
Oh, another reason, my personal tutor at UCL, he is a native Spanish speaker and I really like him. He's just so nice. And sometimes when he delivers lectures or seminars, he uses Spanish words, like small words like vare vare or nice and barado. to describe some translation services. So yeah, that makes me feel like if I can speak Spanish, I get to understand more of the class. And also some of my friends, most of my friends at UCL, they speak Spanish. Not because Spanish is a first language, but they just tend to speak Spanish for some reason.
Viento is wind.
Yeah.
And tormenta is storm.
But they're Europeans, so they speak so many languages, but that's another story. So that's for Spanish. I think I've been going on about Spanish for quite a long time. Then Japanese and Korean. I wanted to learn Japanese and Korean because I noticed that French helped me a lot when I was learning Spanish. So I was wondering maybe Chinese could help my Korean and Japanese. And Japanese and Korean seem to be quite popular and useful, especially there are so many nice Japanese Korean restaurants in London, and I love going on restaurant hunts. So yeah, it's quite natural for me to choose Japanese and Korean. Everyone has different reasons to choose a language, so if you feel like this language is worth your time and you like it, then just go for it. Okay, the next thing that I usually do when I learn these foreign languages is dictation. French, Spanish, Korean, Japanese, these 4 languages are all quite audio-based for me. For example, when you hear it, you should know how to write it down. At least you're supposed to. I remember when I was back in my university, my French teacher used to start most of the classes with dictation, and it used to be such a pain for me because my French wasn't very good when we first started it, and there were so many advanced students. For example, one of my friends slash old classmates, Eric, he was just learning about pronunciation of the alphabet, and he was already asking grammatical questions, which was so stressful for me, you know, the peer pressure. Yeah, I don't know why I mentioned that. I think he's really a nice guy, don't take me the wrong way. So yeah, I was basically borrowing that method into my current language learning routine. And for example, for Spanish, when I listen to the word and write it down and listen to the stories on Duolingo, I will try to not to look at it in the first place and then write it down as much as I can, and then I correct myself. For example, in Spanish, the adjective of difficult is difficile. It's different from French, difficile. I mean, there's a tiny difference, but I did it the wrong way, so dictation really helps. And the same goes for Korean and Japanese. For example, in Korean, sometimes I forget the ending consonant, and doing dictation really helps. And then for Japanese, my Japanese is moving on really slowly, but still doing dictations helps me get more familiar with the hiragana and katakana. I remember last week I watched this Japanese TV series called Oh Handsome. I was so excited when I realized I could understand some words without looking at the subtitles. For example, for the word for back. So yeah, that's for dictation. And then the last thing that I do is to speak with native speakers. For English, because currently I'm in London, so I have this advantage. And then for French, it's interesting because at UCL there are so many French people, there are so many French students, and I love it because on the streets you can just hear French all the time. For Spanish, my personal tutor, I tried to speak Spanish with him, and he will be like really surprised because usually everyone just says hola to him. And then also each week I have a 3-hour-long Spanish class with a native Spanish teacher, which is really nice. Also for Korean and Japanese, I have made a new Korean friend. She's really lovely. Sometimes we have a French/Korean session because she wants to learn French because she loves traveling to France, and I just so happened started to learn Korean, so yeah, that's really convenient. My Japanese is moving on very slowly, so I haven't started practicing with native speakers. But the other day when we were in the dressing room before the show, I was practicing Spanish with my friend Renata, who is Italian, but she speaks Italian, English and Spanish. And then another Singaporean girl heard, and then she started to speak Spanish with us, and it turns out she majored in Spanish in her bachelor degree, and she went to Brazil for her exchange year. All of a sudden we heard this "perdón" in Spanish, and then we turned around, there was this really beautiful ballerina, and then she just started speaking Spanish like really happily with us. It turns out she's born and raised in Madrid, but she has traveled to so many places like China, Singapore, and so many European countries because of her father's job. So yeah, you never know what will happen if you start practicing different languages with other people, because probably the people around you speak that language. Yeah, so that's basically 5 ways that I learn 5 foreign languages, which is to track myself and then make myself pay. Also, what's the next one? Dictation, practice with native speakers. Oh, I left one. And yeah, the last one is think about why I study these languages. And yeah, I would like to add one onto it, which is to have your own expectation or have your own goal. For example, for Spanish, my aim is to travel, and also I want to make it as good as my French or English so that it would be useful in the workplace, especially if you want to work for international organizations. Spanish is really helpful. But for Japanese and Korean, I only want to learn it until I can talk to native people, until I can get around in Tokyo when I travel there. I can order food, and so I don't put that much time and effort in Korean and Japanese because they are not as important to me as Spanish is. I hope that clears the doubt of how I learn 5 foreign languages at the same time. I'm not saying I'm doing a fantastically good job in learning 5 languages at the same time, but I try my best and I could do better. Now it has been 40 some days, and because at the New Year's Eve I made it my New Year resolutions to learn 5 foreign languages and to explore more fashion style or makeup style, so I am really working towards my New Year resolution or my goals for 2022. I wonder whether you learn any foreign languages, and if you have any tips, please do share them with me, because I think it will help a lot if we know each other's methods and language learning routines, which is basically why I do this video. I didn't share that much about English learning because if you click on my homepage, all my videos are basically about English learning. So yeah, if you have any doubts about English learning, go check out my homepage. Oh, by the way, I can recommend some TV shows to you. For example, for Korean, I have been watching this Singles Infernal, and then for Japanese, Oi Handsome, and for Spanish, Elite, and for English, Modern Family and The Office and Malcolm in the Middle are the 3 shows that I recently just love. I've been just binge watching these 3 shows whenever I have time. And if you have any recommendations for TV shows, oh, I just realized my phone really matches with my hoodie and with my channel's main color. If you have any books and shows to recommend for the languages that I'm learning, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I look forward to seeing your recommendations. I will see you in the next video. Bye! By the way, I am going to make a vlog about my dance routine, not my dance routine, just because this week is production week, the dance showcase week, and you guys know that I've always wanted to make some vlogs, so this week I really tried it. But I do realize that sometimes my vlogs are not as popular as my English learning videos, but I do want to share my life with you, so please feel free to click in and have a look and just share my happiness. Yeah. and positivity, not COVID positivity, just optimistic vibes. Right, I'll see you in the vlog. Bye!